Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am Zoronden, and you are tuned into some more Starcraft 2 action. Let's check out today's combatants. On Condemned Ridge, in the top left corner is going to be the Red Terran LiquidSea. And in the bottom right corner, the Zerg, he is blue, and that is EGSuppy. So, over the course of the next week, I am going to be rolling out quite a few pro plays from LiquidSea. I have made sure and chose a different opponent for every game, so we'll get to see a nice splattering of other opponents facing against LiquidSea. So, for the next week is going to be an extra special StarCraft 2 filled week while I transition from my Guild Wars 2 Let's Play to the new 2 that I am planning. And the first one of that I have already announced is, of course, World of Warcraft Let's Play. So, check that out when it does come out. And in the meantime, for this whole upcoming week, including Christmas Day, lots of StarCraft 2 action for you, and we're going to have lots of fun with that. Either way, let's watch as these two pro players go at one another's throats. We did see LiquidSea do the extractor trick there to get a little bit extra drones out while his overlord was building. That, of course, is done now. He has sent out his scout, quite a big map here on Condemned Ridge, so he's got a lot of scouting area to do. That should give LiquidSea, honestly, plenty of time to get his barracks and, well, to complete his wall off here. It looks like he is going to go for a command center before barracks expansion. So it's fairly typical play. We do often see a barracks before expand, but either way works as well. And again, because it's such a big map, he has gone ahead and done that. And Suppy has done the same. He went for his hatchery long before his spawning pool there. And now he pretty much knows where C is at this time, so Suppy's drone and overlord are headed here. And it looks like the supply depot is going to go down right there, completing his wall off, and not going to allow Suppy into his base. That way he can start teching up or doing whatever he wants inside his base. Suppy's not going to be getting any information anytime soon on that. The spawning pool for Suppy is getting near completion. I don't expect any kind of Zergling rush out of him, especially considering he now knows the wall off is complete. He is going to try and harass this at little SCV, trying to make this command center, but of course with the backup here, he is going to need to leave unless he wants to lose that drone. Oh, and the SCV does go down. An unfortunate loss by C. He probably could have easily saved that drone or that SCV, but he did indeed lose it. So a nice little early advantage for Suppy. A nice skillful attack there, and of course is going to send that drone home. Now, something we do need to check out here. C has not done any scouting yet, so Suppy did lose some mining time with that drone running around, but of course he now knows where C is, and C has no idea where Suppy is just yet. We'll have to see if he's going to send out an SCV or not yet. Obviously at some point he's going to have to scout. He might end up doing it with a Marine, not really sure. But he is throwing up a bunker now. I do see a couple Zergling running across the map, probably going to stop those at the Xel'Naga watchtowers. And such does seem to be the case. Obviously, going to grab that early vision and use it to his advantage. And the Overlord's now starting to get in position for Suppy. He's going to have to be very choosy about where he puts that, considering there isn't any of that nice rock advantage where units cannot get high ground vision. So he's going to have to kind of float it over here in the void just to avoid Marine fire. I do see a worker moving across the map here for C. Zergling has spotted it. He may chase that down and attempt to kill it. Either way, C is finally scouting out, and we'll keep an eye on that on the minimap, see if it goes down or not. And indeed, the Zergling has encountered him. Going to try and do his work. I do not think... Oh, the Zergling does back off. The Zergling was probably not going to get him before he got down to Suppy's base, so there was really no reason to pursue it. So obviously, LiquidSea is going to find Suppy down here and know where he is at least. He's not going to get any information because of those nice queens. He will know there's quite a few queens on the field and that there's a nice amount of creep spread. that can be useful information, but obviously he wanted to know, you know, what's going on in here. Is metabolic boost on its way? Finally got that name right. You know, is there a bandling nest? Is there a lair on the way yet? And a roach den? Anything like that. That's always vital information. Suppy has grabbed 2 gas. We are looking at LiquidSea having 2 as well. Marine's going to start working on the Overlord. The Overlord wants to run in and get the information as he was never able to scout the main here. And the question is he going to see the factory? Indeed, that is the case very easily. He did not see the second factory, however, with the tech lab, and that actually could be crucial. He's not going to know that Blue Flame is on the way. He probably will suspect some Hellion harass, but not a sustained Hellion harass with Blue Flame. So some vital information that he just barely missed out on. And let's double check that again. Indeed, he did not get it, just barely outside of his vision. And we got quite a few Hellions sitting here. They're hungry to get in there. However, 3 queens is going to be a serious issue for those Hellions, and they don't want to engage that. They want to pull back. So probably going to wait for a few more to join the party, these guys, as well as that Blue Flame, which is almost complete. He might want to get more Hellions in place so he can do that timing push. And indeed, 6 Hellions rolling out from up there. In fact, make that 7. I'm going to join the 4 that are already down here, making it 11 Hellions. That is quite a few. And oh, just killing that Zergling just before Blue Flame finished. Not yet revealing that Blue Flame. That is very crucial. If he would have done that earlier, it might have been a mistake. And he's going to ignore the queens. He does not want to reveal Blue Flame is up yet. Going to roll in here. He's going to have to reveal Blue Flame here. And so many Zerglings do go down there. Oh, and he's going to catch this natural quite exposed. Or third, I guess, even. He's going to kill quite a few drones here. Unfortunately, those queens are doing serious damage to the Hellions. And quite a few drones crispified there. Little crispy critters, but the Hellions are paying for their audacity. They're going to go down. I'm not sure if any are going to escape. Really, just those queens do so much damage to Hellions now that they're ranged. It is quite brutal. But at the same time, we have quite a few more Hellions at the door as well. We do have siege mode coming down as well, and a siege tank rolling out. I would expect to see continued siege tank production. In fact, he's got a second. There is a second factory with a tech lab, so he is indeed going some more mech. Quite a few Hellions engaged down here, but those roach Suppy transitioned into roaches, which easily mopped up those Hellions with the Blue Flame. And LiquidSea is going to have to adapt to that now. Obviously, siege tanks is going to do quite nicely there. And is that 2 more factories going down? LiquidSea is definitely going to be going heavy mech here. And we got Ventral Sacks coming in for Suppy here. And if I remember right, I think Ventral Sacks is the, yes, transporting units one. So he is looking to do some drops. That is always exciting. We don't see that out of Zerg too often, so not going to complain about that. And this creep spread is magnificent. At least the tumors are. They're just everywhere. If Suppy wanted to keep those up forever, he's doing a good job of it. I mean, LiquidSea would have to scan and burn those for forever just to clear out that creep. And let's see if he does even bother to throw down the scan. I don't think he will. He did catch one just as it was vanishing. And look at that. He's going to use the target fire on the Hellion to kill off the tumor and almost lost the Hellion because of that. The roaches, Zerg roaches, I almost said Zergling, they came in there and almost killed that Hellion. And a couple more command centers going down for LiquidSea. Not sure if he's just wanting tons of mules or if he's actually going to be going for 2 more expands. Obviously, he is behind an expand now. Not quite yet, I suppose, but he will be soon. I believe he's on 3. Yeah, he's on 3. So he's going to obviously want to catch up there, and he might even be just going for the lead in that department. Looks like this Zergling is going to run up here, and I'm pretty sure a Marine, even versus Metabolic Boost Zergling, the Marine wins. Oh, he does not. That is not what I thought. We're going to see a Roach get killed to Hellions here. Not something you see too often. And I love the animation of the Roach burning to death. It's just disturbing, and it looks I don't know, it looks just so realistic there as a bug dying to flame. Either way, wow, a 4th command center going down at this location. Those two are becoming orbitals, so the real question is he going to move them anywhere? And check this out. This barracks sitting here floating is just, it's an eye in the sky kind of situation. It's going to probably spot these overlords bringing this drop over. Obviously, the sensor tower is going to do that as well, but that is just awesome. That is a very skillful use of a barracks by LiquidSea instead of just having it sit in his base. And indeed, there's no chance he's not going to see that. He's a pro player. He should see that. So I would expect some units on their way up here. Oh, but maybe he really didn't see it. There is a missile turret here, and it's going to kill those overlords, but the roaches are going to get out no issue, and actually the overlord's going to outdistance that missile turret. It is blown up. The sensor tower goes down as well. Here comes LiquidSea's units. The first ones in are a bunch of roaches going to, or not roaches, Hellions, which aren't good against roaches. The roaches there are going to burrow in. I would expect a scan to come down. Oh, the roaches are going to go back up. They're going to go after these workers, really trying to get at it here. And I do see a big blue ball moving north on the map. We're going to switch to that very soon. I'm kind of surprised the scan hasn't gone down here to just clear these out. And there it is. Those roaches are going to be cleared out pretty easy. But for the moment, Suppy may not care. I thought he was going to come in with that roach ball. He might be deciding to wait since his roaches got scanned and killed off at the last moment there. Or he's waiting for the queens, one of the two. And there we have a move out with a command center and a couple Thors as well now on the field. Quite a few Hellions, continuing that Hellion production. And that's about how many Hellions you need to kill off queens, except when they have transfused. That did not work. Thors, oh, that is so many siege tanks though. And those roaches have to pull back. They cannot take on that many siege tanks. Even that many Thors is troublesome, but not deadly. So the base LiquidSea once does seem to be a little covered in creep. I think it's cleared enough now to land, or it will be very soon. But he's going to continue the mech march down the valley of creep, which is almost spread all the way across the map. There are a few SCVs in there for repair purposes. Obviously, with a giant mech ball like this, you want that. There's just so many tumors going down. LiquidSea has so many scans, so many orbitals at this point. He can actually clear these tumors right easily. And that may have been solely why he built so many of these guys. I just noticed a few starports up here as well. It looks like he might be mass-producing Vikings or medevacs. And check out how many overlords are here. Doing a nice roach drop. Fungals going down on the mech army as well. Infested Terrans coming in. This could get ugly quick for LiquidSea. Can Suppy press the advantage here and crush the mech army? The tanks now are unsieged, trying to go to work on those roaches that are so close in. And C has conquered that offensive or defensive offensiveness, whatever. He has crushed the attack by Suppy and is continuing to march in here on Suppy. Few roaches come in here from the left. They go down quite easily to the siege tanks. Siege tanks are going to siege up, and that actually should be yesterday's business. Going to go down quite fast. I mean, that is a lot of spine crawlers back there, but unfortunately, they do not outrange siege tanks. So more fungals coming in here, or infested Terrans, I think those were actually, and the infestors are going to retreat. A scan could go down and get those probably pretty easily. More overlords doing more roach drops. That is about his only chance at this point, especially since these guys do not have any anti-air. And that is finally going to stop this attack. The few Hellions remaining try to retreat. The Thor is going to start retreating, using the siege tanks as a kind of fodder. The question is, does that Thor escape, or is Suppy going to chase it down? I think he is going to lose that guy. And unfortunately, that Thor is dead. The question is, does he hit this planetary fortress now? It is a well-defended position, obviously, especially with the SCVs there able to repair it. Those planetary fortresses are always an issue. And continuing to beef up the base here. Excuse me while I get a drink of water here. A little bit of combat going on somewhere. It's just tumor clearing still going on by LiquidSea. So many of those tumors on the map, it's going to take a long time to clear them all out. Well, a few drones go down, unfortunately just ahead of the Roach army there. And these Hellions are going to die. Question is, what damage can they do in the meantime? And they are just killing drones left and right. So many drones went down to those 3 Hellions. And just the constant Hellion harassment. Those guys aren't going to do any damage. They're going to go down quite easily. Unfortunately, just missing that drone line. Could have crispified quite a few right there. So the creep spread does continue. Unfortunately, now it's starting to fluctuate and kind of float in different angles on the map. Obviously, because of LiquidSea's pressing out, needing more bases, and clearing it with so many scans at his command. And there goes the right side creep spread. It's going to be pushed back as well. There comes a certain point where Suppy has to consider whether or not he continues to press the creep spread or lets it lie where it is. Now, this Roach army is going to easily kill off that Hellion harass as well. And unfortunately, those Hellion harasses just aren't really finding the openings they need anymore. I do have a few Overlords filled with Roaches moving in here. However, Missile Turret's going to easily kill that first one before he unloads anything. The rest are going to get out. And there's only 4 actually left, so those second 2 Overlords did not have full compensation. And that is unfortunate for Suppy. LiquidSea going to move in here. Might lose a few of these Hellions because they just are so soft to those Roaches. Obviously, the tanks are going to clear it up, but he lost 2 Hellions that probably should have just not brought the Hellions in, period. But such is the case. Some tanks caught out of position here. Nice fungal on them. They're going to go down quite free. I guess he did lose a Roach to that orbital, or that planetary fortress. But now with the Brood Lords on the field, they're going to start to go to work. Only sitting at 1 Carapace upgrade at the moment. However, the land units for Suppy are at 3-2, and a great fungal on all the Vikings there. Going to do massive damage, and if he can maintain it, he's going to take out LiquidSea's Viking army completely. And this is just a frantic battle here. Quite a few queens in there as well, trying to do transfuses and whatnot, but the land army just got destroyed for Suppy. He's going to pull what's left back, but unfortunately it's not very much for him at this time. And what started to look like a great engagement for Suppy ends up being quite sour, and he loses everything except a few infestors and maybe a corruptor. But C is going to take advantage of that while Suppy is reeling from the last attack. He is going to charge in and maybe grab this base here. That is quite a few Overlords as well. If he still had that Viking army, he could rail on those Overlords. But he's going to be happy for now for cracking the extractor and hatchery and just this base. And he's going to take that opportunity to move a few tanks in to the left and take out a base over there. Corruptors moving in, wiping out the remainder of that Viking army. Unfortunately, there was only 2 left, so not much to do with all those Corruptors by Suppy. These tanks are going to move in here, easily kill this expansion that just finished. Unfortunately, Suppy not going to get those minerals back. Going to roll in here, siege up, and this should die as well. However, I do see a few, those are just Corruptors moving in there. He's going to need some land units to save it. However, with Ventral Sacks, the Overlord's going to lift up all the drones and get them out of there. And he's going to lose 2 that were in the gas at the moment, but that is a nice little bonus that allows him to save all those drones. And it looks like LiquidSea is wanting to grab another expansion, going to land over here. And again, because of the size of this map, there are just a plethora of expansions to be grabbed. There are 3 over here that just have yet to be touched. And if LiquidSea wants those, he can probably maintain them fairly easy. Especially with this creep spread now just being all but gone. I mean, he is clearing so many tumors right now, using advantage of that massive amount of scans that he has, and just completely clearing the road. And going to allow him to protect this much easier. And he is starting to get a massive food count lead. Honestly, at this point, he could probably take this game. He's got a 60 food count lead. And Suppy just has so little units in production now. He doesn't have a lot of larvae, I'm guessing. Yeah, he's got 32 larvae. He's just not really got the funds. And let's check out his bases here. His main's all but mined out. His natural is mined out. His third is all but mined out. His fourth is pretty strong. He needs to saturate it. Unfortunately, he lost this base a while ago and was having the long-range mine. He's establishing a base up here. So, I mean, he's really only on one base that is just now up and going. So, that explains his mineral deficit and why LiquidSea has gained such a strong food count lead here. And honestly, this is probably going to be the final push by LiquidSea. I do not see EGSuppy being able to defend against this. However, if he gets nice Zergling or nice infested Terrans out, which didn't happen, he could have some standing chance here. He's going to need some fungals though, frankly. And that Viking army is just going to cause hazardous danger for those Broodlords. They're not going to stand a chance. A nice fungal on the Vikings, but I think the infestors are gone. There might be one left, but he has no energy. And that is just cracking the shell of Suppy. Not having any money to reproduce anything really. He's building a few corruptors and a few infestors, but I think that is going to do it. The drones and overlords are going to retreat as this base is going to fall very soon. The last of the broodlords goes down. I think it's a ticking clock at this time for Suppy. The hatchery goes as well. That puts it down to one base for Suppy, and he is going to call the G. I think he just forgot an extra G there. Either way, that was a very nice play by LiquidSea. It was very refreshing to see some mech play in Wings of Liberty. Obviously, we're starting to see a lot of that in Heart of the Swarm, but not too much yet in Wings of Liberty. Obviously, that's kind of how Terran have been designed for Heart of the Swarm, and that's why we'll see more mech there. So, very nice mech play by LiquidSea here, and just whittled down Suppy. He hit the critical expansions that were so full of minerals that Suppy just needed, and he really just starved Suppy to death. So, obviously, congrats to LiquidSea. We will be seeing several more games out of him the following week here, so keep an eye out for that. Either way, guys, if you enjoyed this, please do thumbs up and subscribe so I can bring you more StarCraft 2 content. And again, I am Zoronden, and I will catch all of you on the other side.